Have you noticed how stress can hit you before your feet even touch the floor? Like your mind wakes up already late to its own life. Have you ever wondered why all the quick fixes feel like pouring water into a cracked cup? Relief for a moment. Then the same pressure returns even louder. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are stepping into 2026 with a different kind of plan. Not a perfect plan, not a productivity plan, and not a promise that life will stop throwing curveballs. This is a blueprint from ancient Buddhism, shared here not as a label you must adopt, but as a practical guide to inner calm that works inside real schedules, real stress, and real human emotions. The first big idea is that calm is not something you find later when life finally behaves. Calm is something you cultivate now, through tiny daily rituals that change the direction of your mind. The second big idea is that stress is not only caused by what happens to you. Stress is also caused by how your mind meets what happens, how it grips, how it resists, how it rehearses fear, and how it forgets the present moment. So if you are tired of hype, tired of hacks, tired of being told to just think positive while your nervous system is on fire, stay with me. We are going to build a day that feels like a refuge. Morning, midday, evening. Simple, repeatable, grounded in mindfulness, compassion, ethical steadiness, and wisdom. The ancient words for these qualities are different across traditions, but the experience is universal. A mind that can breathe, a heart that can soften, a life that feels less like a chase. Now let us talk about why 2026 needs ancient wisdom. There is a certain kind of stress that people used to associate with emergencies, but now it shows up as background noise. You may feel it as a tight jar while you check messages. You may feel it as a shallow breath when you open your calendar. You may feel it as a constant scan of what could go wrong. In 2026, many of us live inside a world that trains the mind toward urgency. The phone teaches the body to expect interruption. The news teaches the heart to expect threat. The culture teaches the identity to expect performance. And the more we try to fix stress with quick distractions, the more we train the mind that it cannot sit still with itself. This is why quick fixes do not cut it anymore. They work like a painkiller without healing the source. Scroll, snack, shop, binge, numb, repeat, relief for a moment. Then the nervous system demands another hit. Buddhism has a very sober way of describing this cycle. When the mind clings to relief, it strengthens craving. When craving strengthens, dissatisfaction grows. This is not moral judgment. It is cause and effect. Ancient Buddhism begins from a simple observation. Stress is not only a problem out there, it is a pattern in here. If you want a different life, you do not start by controlling every circumstance. You start by learning how the mind creates tension, how it contracts around fear, how it grasps for certainty, and how it forgets that your next breath is still available. That is the shocking relevance. A teaching that is thousands of years old feels like it was designed for a world of constant stimulation, because it was designed for the human mind. And the human mind has always been tempted by craving, pulled by aversion, and clouded by confusion. The packaging changes, the wiring remains. So here is our blueprint. We will move through the day with rituals that train three things. First, mindfulness, the ability to notice what is happening without drowning in it. Second, compassion, the ability to relate to yourself and others with kindness rather than harshness. Third, wisdom, the ability to see the deeper truth of impermanence, interdependence, and the way clinging turns life into stress. If you practice these daily, stress becomes less mandatory. Not because your life becomes easy, but because your inner life becomes steadier. Let us begin in the morning, because mornings are where you set the tone. Imagine you wake up and you do not immediately hand your mind to the world. You do not immediately open a portal of demands. You do not immediately start running in your head. Instead, you build a small sanctuary at the start of the day. 5 minutes, That is all. Not because 5 minutes is magic, but because 5 minutes is a seed. I want to tell you a story about a person named Elise. Elise is competent, kind, and constantly tired. She wakes up and the first thing she does is grab her phone. Notification, messages, news. Someone needs something. Something is urgent. Then she rushes into the day with her chest already tight. By mid-morning, she is stressed, even if nothing terrible happened. The stress came from her first ritual. She trained her nervous system to start the day in reaction. Elise tries all sorts of solutions. Supplements, new planners, motivational videos, but nothing lasts. Then a friend introduces her to a simple Buddhist-inspired ritual. The friend says, "Do not try to control your whole life. Just reclaim the first 5 minutes." Elise laughs. 5 minutes cannot fix my life. But she tries anyway. The next morning, Elise wakes up and instead of reaching for her phone, she places one hand on her chest and one hand on her belly. She feels the warmth of her own body. She feels her breath move. She does not try to breathe in a special way. She simply notices. In and out. Then she does something that seems almost as simple. She silently counts 5 breaths. 1 on the in-breath, 1 on the out-breath, up to 5. If her mind wanders, she returns gently, without scolding herself. This is the first lesson. Returning is the practice. Wandering is not failure. After 5 breaths, Elise expands the awareness to her whole body. She notices the tension in her jaw. She notices the weight in her shoulders. She notices the habit of bracing. And here is the key moment. She softens what she can soften. She relaxes her jaw slightly. She lets her shoulders drop a little. She unclenches the belly. This is not a spa moment. This is training. She is telling her nervous system, we can start the day from presence, not panic. Then Elise chooses one intention for the day. In Buddhism, intention matters because it shapes the mind. The friend told her, choose a simple phrase, not to force positivity, but to point the mind toward wisdom. Elise chooses, today I will meet my life with calm attention. She says it once, quietly. Then she does something else that changes everything. A digital detox moment. Not a dramatic cleanse. A single boundary. She does not look at her phone for 10 minutes after waking. At first this feels uncomfortable. The mind wants to know. The mind wants to check. The mind thinks if I do not check, something will go wrong. This is craving for control. Elise notices it and does not obey it. She walks to the kitchen. She drinks water. She stands by a window and looks at the light. She lets the day begin in the real world, not inside a screen. After a week, Elise notices something surprising. Her stress level at 10 in the morning is lower. Not because her life changed, but because her entry into life changed. This is the power of morning ritual. It sets the tone like a tuning fork. Now let us make this ritual yours, in a way that feels natural. You wake up. Before you move, feel the bed under you. Feel your breath. Do not rush. Let the first thing you meet be your own life. Then take 1 minute of mindful breathing. If you want a structure, use the 5 breath count, or simply feel the in-breath and out-breath. Then take 1 minute of body awareness. Scan from face to shoulders to chest to belly. Soften what can soften. And take 1 minute of intention. Choose a phrase that feels grounded. Keep it simple. No grand promises. Something like, today I will be gentle with my mind. Or, today I will speak with kindness. Or today I will return to the breath when stress rises. Or today, I will do one thing at a time. Then take 1 minute of loving kindness. Metta. Again, not forced sweetness, just a steady wish. May I be peaceful. May I be steady. May I be wise. May I be kind. Then take 1 minute to remember impermanence. Not in a depressing way, in a freeing way. Life changes. This day will pass. This stress will pass. This moment is here. I can meet it. This 5 minutes. A small daily sanctuary. Now, about morning affirmations. Many people hear affirmations and think of fake positivity. That is not what we are doing. In Buddhism, the phrase is not meant to deny reality. It is meant to guide intention. Your mind already repeats phrases all day, usually harsh ones. I am behind. I cannot handle this. I am failing. Everyone is judging me. Those are affirmations too, just painful ones. So we choose phrases that reflect wisdom. Here are examples you can rotate through without turning it into a list in your head. Just pick one that fits. May I respond rather than react. I can do this one breath at a time. I do not need to rush my worth. I choose clarity over chaos. I choose compassion over criticism. I can meet this day with steady attention. Notice how these do not pretend everything is perfect. They build a stance. Now let us talk about the digital detox moment more deeply, because this is where modern stress often begins. When you start the day by consuming other people's urgency, you train your nervous system to be externally owned. Buddhism teaches that the mind becomes what it repeatedly attends to. If you attend to noise first, your inner life becomes noise. If you attend to breath first, your inner life becomes steadier. So the ritual is simple. Do not let your phone be the first voice you hear. Let your breath be the first voice. Let your body be the first reality. Even if you can only do this for 3 minutes, it matters. It is a seed. Now we move into the middle of the day. Because midday is where the blueprint gets tested. It is easy to be calm in the morning when the world is quiet. Then the day hits. Meetings, deadlines, messages, traffic, unexpected problems. Your brain starts spinning. Your shoulders rise. Your breath becomes shallow. And somewhere around midday, many people experience a slump that is not only physical. It is emotional and mental. The mind begins to criticize. I am not doing enough. I am falling behind. I am failing. I will never catch up. In Buddhism, harsh self-talk is not just a mood. It is a karmic seed. It trains the mind to live in judgment. Judgment creates tension. Tension becomes chronic stress. So we need a midday recharge that breaks the loop. This is where the compassionate check-in comes in. Let me introduce a person named Marcus. Marcus is driven. He is good at his job. He wants to provide for his family. He also lives with an inner drill sergeant. When he is productive, the voice says, not enough. When he makes a mistake, the voice says, see, you are incompetent. When he rests, the voice says, lazy. Marcus thinks this voice motivates him, but it actually drains him. It keeps his nervous system in fight mode. One day, Marcus hears a Buddhist teaching that hits him hard. The teacher says, if you speak to yourself with cruelty, you are creating suffering in the present, and you are planting suffering for the future. The teacher says compassion is not a luxury. It is a method. Marcus does not know how to be compassionate to himself. It feels weak. It feels unfamiliar. But he decides to try a simple midday check-in. At lunch, Marcus pauses before eating. He puts his phone face down. He takes one slow breath. Then he asks a simple question. What is my mind like right now? He notices tension. He notices anxiety. He notices self-criticism. Then he asks a second question. What would I say to a friend who felt this way? He would not say, you are failing. Work harder. He would say, you are under pressure. Take a breath. You are doing your best. Take one step at a time. So Marcus says this to himself, quietly. I am under pressure. I can take one step at a time. I can be kind and still be effective. This is compassion as a tool. After a week, Marcus realizes something. When he is kinder to himself, he actually works better. The mind becomes clearer. The body becomes less tense. Mistakes decrease. He is not burning fuel on self-attack. This is the compassionate check-in. Here is how you do it. Anywhere. You pause for 20 seconds. You feel one breath. You notice what is present. Tension, worry, irritation, fatigue. You name it gently. Stress is here. Worry is here. Then you offer one compassionate phrase. May I be patient? I can meet this. I do not need to punish myself to improve. Then you return to the next task with a steadier mind. That is a midday recharge you can do even in a bathroom stall, even in a stairwell, even at your desk. Now, let us talk about the mindful pause, because this is another secret that makes stress optional. A mindful pause is a moment where you interrupt momentum. In Buddhist practice, this pause is everything. It is the gap between impulse and action. Stress often comes from unconscious momentum. You go from email to meeting to message to complaint to snack to scroll. And the mind never rests, never returns, never arrives. So we create arrivals. One of the simplest arrivals is a walking meditation you can do anywhere. Imagine you are walking from your car to your building, or from one room to another, or from your desk to the bathroom. Usually you are mentally elsewhere, replaying. Instead, for 30 steps, you bring attention to the soles of your feet. Feel the contact. Left foot, right foot. Feel the weight shift. Feel the air. Feel the body moving through space. You do not need to walk slowly like a monk. You just need to notice. This does something profound. It pulls the mind out of time travel and returns it to now. Stress loves time travel. It loves future catastrophes and past regrets. Calm lives in presence. So the mindful pause is not a luxury. It is a nervous system reset. Now, the gratitude microjournal. People often think gratitude is cheesy, or they think gratitude means you should be grateful and stop complaining. That is not the Buddhist view. In Buddhism, gratitude is a way of training the mind to perceive reality more fully. Stress narrows perception. It makes you see only threats and problems. Gratitude widens perception. It helps you see resources, support, and goodness that is also present. A microjournal means you write a few words, not a long entry. Here is a story. A woman named Dana feels overwhelmed in 2026. She is juggling work, caregiving, and constant uncertainty. She feels like she is always behind. She starts a gratitude microjournal because her therapist suggested it, but she expects nothing. At midday, she writes 3 short lines. Not big things, small real things. Warm coffee. A friend texted me. Sunlight on the wall. She feels nothing at first. Then after 2 weeks she notices a shift. Her mind begins to look for small goodness. She starts noticing moments of ease that used to pass unnoticed. The day still has stress, but it also has light. This balance reduces despair. In Buddhism, this is training the mind toward wholesome states. You are feeding a different mental route. You are feeding appreciation instead of only worry. So here is the micro-journal ritual. Once a day, write 3 small things you appreciated in the last few hours. Keep it simple. Keep it true. No performance, just reality. Over time, your mind becomes less addicted to urgency. Now we move into the evening, because the way you end the day shapes your sleep, and sleep shapes your entire nervous system. In 2026, many people end the day with screens. You finish tasks, then you collapse into scrolling, streaming, or arguing online. The mind stays stimulated. The body stays tense. Then you try to sleep, and your brain keeps running. You wake up tired. Then the next day you start stressed. It becomes a loop. Buddhist evening practice breaks the loop. The first evening ritual is a gentle body scan meditation. Again, not fancy, just present. Imagine you sit on your bed or a chair. You close your eyes. You breathe naturally. Then you bring attention to the body, part by part. Face, jaw, shoulders, chest, belly, Hands, legs, feet. Where do you feel tension? Do not fight it. Just notice it. Then soften what can soften. Relax the jaw. Drop the shoulders. Let the belly be natural. Let the hands unclench. This scan does two things. It teaches you that you can relate to tension without panic, and it helps release the physical stress stored in muscles. Now, forgiveness journaling. Many people go to sleep carrying a bag of grievances. Someone was rude. Someone ignored you. You made a mistake. You said something awkward. You replay it. This replay is stress. Buddhism teaches that resentment is a poison that burns the one who holds it. Forgiveness is not excusing harm. Forgiveness is releasing the grip of hatred so you can be free. Forgiveness journaling is simple. Write one thing you are holding from the day. It could be anger at someone. It could be anger at yourself. It could be shame. It could be regret. Then write one sentence of release. Not perfect, just sincere. I release this from my body tonight. I can address it tomorrow with wisdom. I do not need to carry it into sleep. Then write one sentence of learning. What did this teach me? Maybe it taught you a boundary. Maybe it taught you patience. Maybe it taught you to slow down. Then end with one sentence of kindness. May I rest. May I be gentle with myself. This is not spiritual theater. It is nervous system hygiene. Now, reviewing your day through a lens of growth. Not only tasks. Most people evaluate the day by productivity. Did I finish the list? Did I perform? Did I keep up? Buddhism invites a different review. A wisdom review. Ask, where did I act with kindness today? Ask, where did I react from stress and what can I learn? Ask, where did I remember the present? Ask, where did I forget and what can I practice tomorrow? This kind of review builds inner dignity. It makes the day meaningful. It turns life into training rather than a scoreboard. Now, I want to tie these rituals together into a loop of calm. Morning ritual sets intention and presence. Midday ritual interrupts momentum and adds compassion. Evening ritual releases tension and clears the heart. When you do this daily, calm becomes less dependent on circumstances. Stress becomes less like a ruler and more like a weather pattern that comes and goes. Now, I want to go deeper into the Buddhist principles underneath this blueprint. Because when you understand the principles, the rituals become more powerful. The first principle is impermanence. Everything changes. Stress often comes from trying to freeze life. You want certainty. You want control. You want guarantees. But life is moving. The Buddhist move is not to despair. It is to stop arguing with change. When you stop arguing with change, you conserve energy. You meet what is here. You respond wisely. So in 2026, when the world feels chaotic, impermanence can actually be comforting. This stressful moment will pass. This crisis will shift. This emotion will move. Your mind does not need to treat every problem as forever. The second principle is dukkha, the unsatisfactoriness that comes from clinging. Stress is a form of dukkha. It is the friction between your mind and reality. The mind says it should not be like this. The mind says I cannot handle this. The mind says I must fix everything now. Mindfulness reveals that these thoughts are thoughts. They are not commands. When you see them, you can loosen them. When you loosen them, stress reduces. The third principle is intention. Your mind becomes what you repeatedly intend. If you intend to rush, you become rushed. If you intend to be kind, you become kinder. If you intend to be present, presence becomes more natural. This is why morning intention matters. It plants a seed. The fourth principle is compassion. In Buddhism, compassion is not soft. It is strong. Compassion is the ability to stay with suffering without turning away, and to act in ways that reduce harm. Self-compassion is included. If you treat yourself like an enemy, you live in a battlefield. If you treat yourself like someone you care about, you live in a refuge. The fifth principle is wise effort. You do not need to do everything. You need to do the right thing at the right time. The rituals are small because the goal is consistency, not intensity. Consistency changes the mind. Now let us walk through a full day as a living story, so you can feel how the blueprint works when life is not cooperative. Imagine a person named Jordan. Jordan lives in a normal 2026 life. Work, family, responsibilities, news, and a nervous system that has had enough. Jordan wakes up to an alarm and feels immediate dread. The mind starts listing problems. Before Jordan touches the phone, Jordan remembers the blueprint. 1 breath, hand on chest. 5 breaths, softening jaw. Intention for the day. Today I will return to the breath when stress rises. Jordan keeps the phone away for 10 minutes. Drinks water. Looks out the window. The world is still the world, but the mind feels slightly less owned. Jordan goes to work. Emails stack up. A co-worker sends a message with a sharp tone. Jordan feels heat. The mind wants to respond immediately, defensively. Jordan pauses. 1 breath. Names it. Irritation is here. Then Jordan asks, what is the wise response? Jordan replies with clarity and calm. Not passive, not aggressive, just clear. The situation de-escalates. At midday, Jordan feels drained. The old habit is to scroll or snack mindlessly. Jordan does the compassionate check-in. What is my mind like? Judging. What would I say to a friend? You are under pressure. Take 1 step. Jordan drinks water, takes a short walk and does 30 steps of mindful walking. Feeling the feet. The nervous system downshifts. Jordan writes 3 lines in a micro journal. A good conversation. A warm meal. A moment of laughter. Jordan feels a small opening in the chest. A reminder that life has more than pressure. In the afternoon, a problem happens. A deadline shifts. Plans change. Jordan feels the stress spike. Here is the key moment. Jordan remembers impermanence. Plans change. The mind does not need to collapse. Jordan breaks the task into 1 next step. 1 email, 1 call, 1 action. The mind stops spinning. In the evening, Jordan gets home tired. The old habit is to collapse into screens. Jordan chooses a different ending. A 5-minute body scan. Jaw, shoulders, belly, softening. Then forgiveness journaling. Jordan writes about the sharp moment with the coworker. Releases it. Writes 1 lesson. Sets 1 intention for tomorrow. Then Jordan does a short loving kindness phrase. May I rest. May I be peaceful. Jordan sleeps better. Nothing about Jordan's life became magically stress-free. But Jordan created a continuous loop of calm inside the day. That loop is resilience. That loop is inner freedom. That loop is the Buddhist blueprint. Now, I want to address something that usually comes up when people try to do daily rituals. They say, I tried for 2 days and then I forgot. And then I felt like a failure. This is where Buddhism is very kind and very realistic. The practice is not never forgetting. The practice is remembering again. Every time you remember, you are strengthening the pathway. If you forget for a week and remember again, that is still practice. If you do 1 breath instead of 5 minutes, that is still practice. If you do 1 compassionate phrase in a stressful meeting, that is still practice. The mind becomes steady through returning, not through perfection. Now, let us talk about the hidden engine of stress in 2026, because we should name it clearly. Many people are not only stressed by tasks, they are stressed by identity. They feel they must be impressive. They feel they must be available. They feel they must be liked. They feel they must be right. They feel they must keep up. This identity pressure creates a constant tension. Even when you rest, you feel you should be doing more. Even when you succeed, you feel it is not enough. Buddhism offers wisdom here. The self you are trying to defend is not as solid as it feels. Much of it is a story made of habits and expectations. When you see that, you stop gripping so tightly. You can still be responsible. You can still be ambitious. But you stop making your worth depend on outcomes. This is stress reduction at the deepest level. So here is a ritual you can add, very gently. Whenever you notice identity stress, ask, what am I trying to prove right now? Then breathe. Then ask, what is actually needed in this moment? Often what is needed is simple. One honest conversation. One task. One boundary. One rest. When you shift from proving to presence, you'll reclaim your life. Now, I want to weave in another Buddhist quality that makes daily calm much easier. Ethical steadiness. Many people think ethics is about rules. In Buddhism, ethical steadiness is about reducing inner conflict. When you lie, manipulate, gossip, or harm, you create agitation. Your mind knows, even if you get away with it socially, your nervous system pays. So one of the most underrated stress reduction tools is to live in alignment. Speak truthfully. Do not use people. Be fair. Apologize when you cause harm. Keep your promises when possible. These are not moral badges. They are calm-creating actions. If you want a stress-free 2026, do not underestimate how much stress comes from unresolved guilt, messy relationships, and constant self-justification. Ethical steadiness clears the heart. Now, let us bring this to the closing part of our blueprint. And I want this closing to feel like a real conversation between us. Because this channel is about walking together, not about me lecturing you. If you are stressed in 2026, you are not alone. You are not weak. You are living in a world that trains urgency and rewards overstimulation. Your nervous system is responding normally to abnormal conditions. The Buddhist blueprint is not asking you to deny those conditions. It is asking you to reclaim your inner agency. It is saying, you may not control everything that happens, but you can shape how you meet it. You can plant seeds of calm through daily rituals. Those seeds grow into habits. Those habits become your inner climate. Morning presence, midday compassion, evening release. This is a simple loop. The morning ritual teaches your mind, I can start from clarity. The midday ritual teaches your mind, I can interrupt stress and return to kindness. The evening ritual teaches your mind, I can let go and rest. Over time, your baseline shifts. You become less reactive. You become more resilient. You become more awake. This is what Buddhism's ancient wisdom offers in modern language. It is not magic. It is training. Now, your actionable challenge for 2026 is simple, and I want you to treat it with gentleness. Pick just one ritual from this blueprint and practice it consistently for the next week. 1. If you try to do everything, you may do nothing. If you pick one, you build a foundation. Maybe it is the 5-minute morning breathing and intention. Maybe it is the midday compassionate check-in. Maybe it is the evening body scan. Choose one that feels realistic, not heroic. Then, after a week, notice what changed. Not in your external circumstances, in your inner tone. Do you react less? Do you recover faster? Do you speak more kindly to yourself? Do you sleep a little better? These are signs the seed is sprouting. And if you miss a day, do not punish yourself. Return the next day. Returning is the practice. Now, I want to leave you with a final reflection. Because calm is not only about feeling better. Calm is also about living wiser. When you are calmer, you treat people better. When you are calmer, you make clearer decisions. When you are calmer, you are less likely to create harm through impulse. When you are calmer, you can actually enjoy your life. This is not selfish. This is compassionate. Your calm becomes a gift to everyone around you. So if you have been waiting for permission to slow down, to breathe, to practice, let this be your permission. You do not need to earn calm by suffering first. You can begin now, with one breath. Now it is your turn. Which ritual are you going to try this week? The morning breathing and intention. The midday compassionate check-in. The mindful walking pause. The gratitude micro journal. The evening body scan. Or the forgiveness journaling. Share your choice in the comments. And if you want, share what stress feels like for you in 2026 so this community can feel less alone. If you want more long-form Buddhist-inspired guidance for resilience, clarity, compassion, and inner freedom, subscribe to the channel. Like the video so it reaches people who are overwhelmed and need a calmer path. And if you want to support these deeper episodes, you can join as a member and help keep the community growing. Until next time, keep practicing, keep returning, keep planting calm seeds in ordinary moments. And remember this closing word. May your mind be clear. May your heart be gentle. And may your 2026 become a year where calm is not a rare event but a daily home.
Every person carries a certain energy. Your focus, your dreams, your purpose. Bracelet is a physical reminder of that energy. Symbol you wear daily. That pushes you to stay grounded, balanced, and aligned. If one of the bracelets caught your eye, you can order it through the link in the description. And check more powerful styles on our homepage store. Choose the one that strengthens your journey.